Welcome to the nation's capital for a Week 30 Gainbridge Super League contest filled with playoff implications. DC Power is trying to push to get above the playoff line. Loza Ibarra is second on the team in goals, and DC Power are getting reinforcements back with Gianna Gorley available this evening. Against the top team in the Super League table, it is Sporting JAX. They have 3 double-digit goal scorers this year. Ashlyn Puerta has 19 goal contributions. Kickoff moments away. It's a beautiful evening in Washington, D.C. Our site is Audi Field for this Gainbridge Super League matchup. DC Power has beaten Sporting JAX twice in the first 3 matches these two sides have played. And as we come on the air, this is what the league table looks like. Sporting JAX, of course, are in the postseason. They clinched at the beginning of April, but they can hoist a top 2 position and a home playoff match if they win tonight. DC Power on the other side trying to get back above the playoff line with 2 matches to go. Alongside Brooke Kirchhoffer, Michael Watring with you for our matchup here this evening. And Sporting JAX, they're so good defensively, but their offense is lights out. 52 goals for the year.
Strong return after the midseason break, but had a challenging March slate. 2-game skid before that home win over Brooklyn for head coach Stacey Balaam. It was about getting back to the basics, reset, refocus in training sessions, really took the pressure off themselves and focused eternally, and now they're back on the front foot.
12 more goals than any other team in the Super League at this point in the season. And you take a look at these numbers, Duval dominance. We could spend a ton of time on the talent in this group, but they have 3 double-digit goal scorers and the best goalkeeper in Caitlin Parks, who will miss this game after a red card last week.
Yeah, well, it helps when you have 3 goal scorers in double digits, as you mentioned. Ashlyn Puerta draws a lot of attention when the ball is at her feet. She is the creator with 7 assists. She can contribute to the team's success there and as a finisher. Bailey DeSmit, according to her head coach, is probably the best striker of the ball they have on the team. Incredible finisher, strong, fast, clever, can score in a lot of different ways. And then Paige Kenton, the workhorse, defender's nightmare. Quality runs into the attacking third, also relentless in the way she presses.
We'll unpack that talent as we go through the match, but a team in this league that has not had issues with Sporting JAX is DC Power. They're the only team that has outscored JAX in the 3 matches this year.
And the reason for it, DC does a great job of taking advantage of Sporting JAX' expansive shape in transition. Typically, this one has been won in the midfield battle. Just one of 2 teams Sporting JAX has lost to multiple times this season.
In this fixture, only the road team has won. Loza Ibarra, mentioned her at the beginning, but Gianna Gorley is back. She's missed the last 5. She has a cap of about 45 minutes tonight. This is a huge return for one of the league's top goal scorers.
Such a super opportunistic forward, covers a lot of ground. You cannot leave her on an island, has a great read of the game, but Loza Ibarra has been a key piece for them, has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. She makes things happen for them in those outside channels. We saw it against Dallas, expect that in the left side tonight.
Sporting JAX is the best road team in the league. Will they clinch a top 2 finish tonight with a win, or will DC Power come back and make it 3 wins in 4 tries? Our opening kick is next.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Tomorrow's forecast will
JAX tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
And we welcome you back here to Washington, D.C. It is DC Power getting ready to take on Sporting JAX this evening. Michael Watring, Brooke Kirchhoffer, and the rest of our group with you for our kick tonight as we take a look at DC Power's starting 11. You notice on the bench, Gianna Gorley is back, but a change in goal for this one.
And second match in a row with a change on the back line. Madison Mernon entered the starting lineup Friday against Dallas. They have another quick turn playing Spokane Saturday, who is, of course, into contention as well. So this one might be a little bit of a maintenance change on the back line, welcoming Paige Almendarez back on the back line as a starter. She's a natural competitor, though. Expect her to try to get forward, too, when it's available on the left side.
Sporting JAX makes the change at goalkeeper. Jamie Gerstenberg is back to the starting lineup because Caitlin Parks is serving her red card suspension.
Yeah, that's the only change for Sporting JAX. Kate Parks, red card after a scuffle with Rebecca Cook at home against Brooklyn. They're super confident in her ability, though. They said she's outstanding in warm-ups, and on game days, she's typically sometimes the only keeper in on the shooting activities, so is seeing a lot of live reps. She also got some attention at the beginning of the season, getting some action in, so she's a player they trust and are used to hearing her voice out there on the pitch.
Gerstenberg's first start since September 28th. Played full 90 in a 4-3 win at Carolina. So we're just about ready to kick things off here this evening. Great to have you with us. DC Power will be in the black kits for this one. It is the white and blues, and for the first time this year, John Matto gets the assignment as our center referee. Gerstenberg up to take. You don't see that very often, that a goalkeeper takes the opening kick, but she boots it down the field and it rolls out for an immediate goal kick, and this allows Sporting JAX to set up their defensive pressure. The last time these teams met was February 7th. DC won 1-0 at Sporting JAX. That was Alyssa Walker's 78th minute goal. Excuse me, it did take a touch, so it is a corner kick for Sporting JAX here in the opening half minutes.
Not something you see every day, getting an opportunity with a set piece within the first minute.
First corner, swings in, takes a ricochet, bounces off the backside, and swept back towards midfield. An early pressure here from Sporting JAX. They lead the league in overall goals, and they are dominant on the road. They have not been shut out on the road all season long. Most points, most wins of any team in the Super League when they leave Jacksonville. What are you looking forward to out of this match over the next 90 minutes?
Well, what we saw from DC Power last time out against Dallas is they were out on the front foot and set the tempo early, really controlled the match in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Expect to see that here. We did see a bit of a mistake on the back line. Anna Bagley, a rare mistake, bad touch to the back, center back, and Dallas made her pay for it, found the back of the net. That could have been 3 points for DC Power that they feel they left out there. So I think cleaning up some of those mistakes in possession is going to be key for DC Power. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, we know they like to get expansive. When they lose the ball, what do they look like? Can the communication be where it needs to be to collapse and get back to the spots and close the channels that DC is going to try to play through?
So here's the big thing that we're looking at tonight. Sporting JAX, a win, clinches a top 2 league finish, plus a home match in the Gainbridge Super League playoffs. 10 days from now, they'll finish the year on the road at Carolina in a match that could decide the Shield, pending Lexington's results in their final 2 matches of the year. A foul whistled and a free kick for Sporting JAX. Meanwhile, for DC Power, there are 3 teams separated by 1 point for the final playoff position. Dallas holds the top spot right now at 34 points. DC 33, as with Spokane, at 33 points. But DC Power have the best goal differential out of that group, so they have the inside track. If they can take care of business, Dallas finishes the year at Tampa and versus Fort Lauderdale. Spokane and DC square off in what might feel like an elimination game this weekend, and then Spokane finishes the year at home against Brooklyn. Good ball here. Fine work from Walker. Torbert races past the first defender, not the second though, as it gets sent away. A throw in for DC Power.
What a clever touch there from Alyssa Walker when speaking with Ominda Mazi and what she's brought to the group since coming over from the Carolina Ascent. He said just her ability to create and hold the ball up, and can just be a little tricky too on those flick-ons for her teammates in that outside channel.
This ball hits a hand on its cross through, so spotted by our official, and a free kick coming here for DC Power. They have rattled off 3 consecutive unbeaten matches. They've had strings of 4 unbeaten and 6 unbeaten this year, and now this one of 3. Alexis Theoret will be the one that gets the honor of taking this free kick. We're already seeing some attacking soccer here between 2 of the best goal-scoring teams in the Super League. Theoret loops it right into the middle, and it has to be pushed over the top by Gerstenberg for a corner kick. And Theoret will get another opportunity, this time from the more traditional corner spot.
I think she would have liked that ball to drop more closer to the 6-yard line there, right in front of the goalkeeper's spot, but instead pays off with testing the goalkeeper. She sends it over and will now get an opportunity to set piece where their goal came off of against Dallas.
Theoret throws it through the legs of Ibarra. Puerta had it for a moment, and then it ricochets off of the foot of Emily Colton. And it certainly looks pretty obvious that that was JAX ball. Instead, it's given for a throw for DC Power. Gainer lays it back. And an opportunity here to recycle. Ibarra glides along that left sideline. 2 defenders over. Smekrud up the field, and it ultimately rolls out. Fascinating matchup because you have Sporting JAX, the best road team in the league, 28 points. They've scored 12 more goals than any other team on the road, 32 in total. Against DC, that is the 3rd worst home team in the league. They only have 12 points on the home field this year. Only Tampa Bay and Fort Lauderdale have fewer.
Well, you can tell right off the bat, Sporting JAX really paid attention in film study this week on Loza Ibarra. As soon as the ball met her in that outside channel, 2 collapsed on her, not allowing a 1v1 scenario where she really was able to tear up Dallas Trinity's right side of the pitch. And she's just so dangerous with space in front of her. You saw them close the space quickly, didn't allow her to get face on. Great work there early from Sporting JAX back line.
They're the best defensive team in the league in terms of clean sheets, but they have given up 29 overall goals, including at least 1 in each of the last 4. That was something that Stacey Balaam specifically mentioned to us when she looks at the end of this year. She wants to see this group be a little bit more refined in their defensive effort down the stretch of the year. They had a really good run defensively, entering that little run where they've given up goals in 4 straight.
Well, Brooklyn had 19 shots last time out against Sporting JAX. Now, a lot of that, too, is because they were playing down a man with the red card from their goalkeeper Kate Parks, who is not available today, but they're confident in Jamie Gerstenberg's effort in the net, and even talked about, too, the quality of even a 3rd keeper that they were able to travel as well in Christina Roque.
Yeah, Roque has NWSL experience, and you take a look at Stacey Balaam, and 15 wins this season, but she specifically mentioned in this fixture that this is a strong game that seemingly they don't match up well based off of what has happened so far. They have quality and consistency, and certainly players that they have to deal with, and we'll see if Sporting JAX can come away in this match with points after losing 2 of the first 3 meetings. Namazi, looking at his group, he mentioned that he would like to see a little bit more goal contribution come from the midfield. He thinks that might be the key to unlocking something in these final 2 matches that could push them into the playoffs.
Yeah, called on the likes of Emily Colton, who only has 1 goal so far this season. She's been big in contributions, though, 4 assists so far this season. But he wants to see the removal of hesitation that we kind of saw at the top of the box. She was given the ball against Dallas Trinity right at the top. It should have been an automatic trigger for her to rip one on frame, and you saw just that little bit of hesitation. I think that's where he's needing to see them have that killer mentality that typically your players on the front line have.
Speaking of players with that killer mentality, JAX has a plethora on that pass back. Colton reads it well. First team in league history with 3 different double-digit goal scorers. DeSmit, Puerta, and Kenton have combined this season for 33 goals amongst that
Incredible.
3. Just an unbelievable number. And not to put anything by them, Puerta and Kenton each have a team leading and league leading 7 assists.
They're so different in terms of the dynamic that each of them bring to the side. Obin Namazi said, we just have to try and stop service into them, but how do you stop service into 3 different players? I think that's the biggest challenge, is they can be effective from really anywhere out on the pitch.
Pennick has scored in 2 of the first 3 meetings, while Puerta and DeSmit have not scored against DC Power this year. Here is Bailey DeSmit. It's a good read. Cummings gets a piece. The whistle for a foul comes, though. Cummings is the only player, or one of 3 players rather, in the league with 100+ clearances and 100+ recoveries for the year, and she wears the captain's armband.
I think she just got locked up there with Alyssa Walker. A really good duel, but unfortunately for Sydney Cummings, look at the angle that she has on it, and excuse me, that was against Paige Kenton. Both of them getting mixed up there. Just a bad angle for Sydney Cummings.
10 minutes in, no score in this matchup. Ball lofts in, out to catch it. Read well by McKenna Gottschalk.
I think that's the most impressive side of her game, is she's willing to come off of her 6 pretty quickly and provide that stability that, you know, a backline needs, especially when there's been a change in net. She's comfortable in her own skin and has a really confident voice.
Puerta has Theoret pick her pocket. It bounces back out. Colton pounces, lays it off. Gainer leaps and leaves for Almendares, but out of her reach as it goes out for a JAX throw.
That was a little bit of a surprise for both of us when talking with Obin Namazi. Morgan Aquino, 18 matches started and played, pretty solid save success rate, but made a change to McKenna Gottschalk. They're really comfortable with her in net. I think she's a bit more aggressive is what they like from her game.
Aquino 5th right now in the Golden Glove race. A foul whistled again as we start to get a little bit of physicality here, and then Abera bumps in. And Moza Abera will have a one-on-one chat with our official John Maddow.
Should mention too, DC Power and Sporting JAX are both coming off very physical matches last time out, and some of that carries over a little bit too.
This is Gerstenberg. Phil Potts sends it along. That's a well-weighted pass for Paige Kenton. Kenton gets it off for the first player. It bounces, and a bobble there from Gainbridge before she smothers.
Scary opportunity there for DC Power. Ball kind of took an awkward bounce. Really good closing speed there from Sydney Cummings to cut off the angle. But you saw McKenna Gainbridge was struggling to read where this ball was going to bounce off the turf there. Well done maintaining that.
Excellent ball to break through lines, and Colton has plenty of space in front and choices to make. Tries to thread the needle for Torbert. And the clearance comes out wide. There were 3 runs all within about 10 yards of each other. No real options there for Colton.
I think Deja Torbert went a bit too early, so this is maybe best case scenario. Stay with possession here instead of losing it.
Bagley. Walker. Chips. Can't get it over the top. Georgia Brown has it for a moment. Philpotts back for Brown. Good work there by Philpotts to get past the first. And a sliding effort by Claire Constant to get it away.
Claire Constant sacrificing her body there too. Took an awkward fall on her back to keep this one deep in Sporting JAX half.
Easy recovery for Sydney Cummings. Select is the official match ball supplier of the Gainbridge Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
You saw Claire Constant didn't have an answer to go forward, and Sporting JAX not with a high press on right now. You wonder if that changes maybe next time in their defensive shape. Try to put more pressure on DC Power's backline, which we have seen in recent form have made mistakes there when they're looking for an outlet and it's not on.
Well, we mentioned the scenario for DC Power in the postseason. For Sporting JAX, they would have to lose their finale against Carolina if they win tonight, and then Lexington would have to beat Brooklyn and Tampa Bay at home. Those are their final 2 matches of the year. For there to be a battle for the #1 spot and the Shield in the Gainbridge Super League, year number 2.
Both sides starting to settle in now, and we can see why both Omid Namazi and Stacey Balaam highlighted that the middle of the pitch is where this one was going to be won. The ball keeps getting stuck in that area as both teams like to build line to line, but we know DC Power can be a little bit more direct when they need to be.
Abera picks out Colton. Overlapping run. It is Bagley arriving. Slows it down. Gainer. Around the wheel it goes. Theoret.
Man, look at all this space to the right side. Why DC Power's not utilizing it, I don't know, but now they go to that space.
Bagley with choices. There's a lot of room there in the middle. Torbert steps on the ball. Now it works around quickly. Gainer lining it up, leaving it for Abera. Abera dodges the first, swings it in, skims the first head. Torbert lofts, and Gerstenberg out to snatch.
Unlucky for Deja Torbert, just couldn't get enough oomph behind the ball there in the air, but you see just how quality their combo play is in and around opposition box. It's so impressive to watch, and I think that's a part of their game that has really come along nicely. When you look back at the beginning of the season, you could just play Gianna Gorley in stride and attack that way. I think they've been more conscious at being more clinical now in the attacking third.
Getting Gorley back is going to be massive for this team. Omid Namazi said that her max is about 45 minutes, but the game will dictate how they will utilize her here this evening. Missed the last 5, hasn't played since late March.
Bit of a chess match, too, when you want to bring her in, because we know she's a bull in a china shop. She's been wanting to get back, chomping at the bit. We saw her in warm-up, smile on her face, looks healthy and ready to go. But do you want to put her in maybe when Sporting JAX is on tired legs in the second half? We'll see.
Bagley steals this ball. Colton dodges the first. Colton crushes off of the body of the first defender. Rolls back out. Torbert laces through all the way out for a goal kick, but something brewing perhaps here for DC Power.
Man, what a ball. Beautiful to Deja Torbert on that outside. Just needs to take a little bit off of it. More of a chip to that back post, but certainly the right idea with Loza Ibarra on that left side.
There's Gianna Gorley, bottom right of your screen. She was off to such a torrid start to the year. It looked like the Golden Boot was going to be hers going away. 8 goals in the first 13.
And to her left, Ellie Gilbert, who came off the bench and was able to capitalize off of a corner kick. Bit of an awkward drop. She said her belly was the last thing to touch before the ball found the back of the net. But hey, sometimes that's just enough, and they were able to walk out of that one against Dallas. 1-1 draw.
Her goal came in the 79th minute 5 days ago. This time it is Colton that commits the foul. Shock down, holding the back of her leg. Both of these teams are star-studded, and the statistical numbers showcase that as well. There's definitely going to be some individual hardware for each of these teams. You take a look at the Golden Boot race. Catherine Berry, what a great season and a revelation she has had. And then you have that super trio right below Puerta, DeSmit, Kenton. DeSmit scored 8 times on the road this year. That's the most in Super League history. So you have players that are getting it done in so many different ways. And can any of these 3 catch Cat Berry before the end of the year?
It was so interesting to listen to Cat Berry's teammates on the Gainbridge Super League Game Week podcast with Jade Barquette. We were able to talk to her teammates, one in Tati Fung and Alicia Bourgeois, and they talked about just what she's like around the pitch, just an uber serious player who really never turns off. Be sure to listen to that interview. Her sister knits her game day sweaters.
There you go.
So it's pretty cool.
There you go.
Pretty cool little
where can they find
backstory
that?
on YouTube, on the
There you
Gainbridge
go.
Super League podcast Game Week on YouTube.
That's viewing for after this match. Here's your Golden Playmaker race. A 4-way tie at the top. The next person to get to 8, if any of these are able to do so, that'd be a single season record for the league.
You wonder if Sam Kroger was healthy for the entire season, how much more of a lead she might have in terms of assists. Her and Rebecca Cook just continue to feed off of one another. Unfortunately, Sam Kroger did deal with a bit of a knock, but such a special player in the midfield.
Goshawk looks like she's back up and ready to roll. Spent last year at Fort Lauderdale. And Sporting JAX will put the ball back in play. We're 20 minutes plus in, 1 shot apiece so far.
Love what we see here from the captain, Sydney Cummings, trying to reestablish, look, this is the position that we are in. Let's try and lock up that 4th spot, get back to our style, and get back out on the front foot, because right now Sporting JAX is threatening.
Bagley stumbled, gives the ball away. Kenton has it knocked aside by Constant. Throw in here for JAX.
We know that Sydney Cummins is a vocal leader who holds people accountable, more of the coach's right-hand man out on the pitch. We certainly just got a full visual of that, her holding her teammates accountable, trying to get them back into it here.
Sporting JAX typically off to good starts. This ball rolls out perfectly on the cut in. DeSmit is dispossessed. 29 first half goals for Sporting JAX this season. 9 of those coming in the first 20 minutes. So DC has passed the first milestone by holding JAX without a goal through 20.
DC Power has the numbers, but Sporting JAX just finding a way through.
On the wide side, left-footed lofting shot, slices away from everybody and goes out.
That's where that communication is so crucial on the back line. You saw Deja Torbert was floating between 2 players. You have to pick a player. You had the number advantage there in that right channel, and Sporting JAX, just because they were out of position, were able to play right around them.
Everybody chases after it, but Georgia Brown is the first one to get there. Lays it for Kenton. Almendares punches it aside, and it cannot get past the corner flag as it stays low and goes out for a corner.
I think you would have liked to seen a little bit more effort there from Paige Almendares to not afford a corner, but more of a throw-in opportunity. She certainly had her beat on that side.
Second corner of the game for JAX. Casey Smeckrud will get a chance to line this up. Played in Finland last year. Spins it into the middle. Gottschalk sure-handed this time around.
Trying to go for an Olympico. Really great bend on the ball, but as we've seen from McKenna Gottschalk, she's got the confidence to come off her line and go up in the air.
You had a few Olympicos in your day, right?
Because of the height, I was usually stuck on the back post. Never the one delivering the corners. Saw a few go in from my teammates.
Hey, you had a good view, right?
Yes.
Pressure this ball into the middle. Not the best location for it. Gainer twists. Bagley bops. But Sporting JAX take over. They're starting to put their finger back on the pulse of this match. Hughes. Constant reads it perfectly. And gets a throw out of this despite the pressure there from Grace Philpotts.
See, the ball just continues to get stuck on DC Power's middle line. Need to see more quality runs from their forwards in communicating where they want the ball. The runs need to be a little bit more crisp, but as we see, they are warming up on the side. And will we see Gianna Gorley make her return here soon? I think, too, for the forwards on their front line, just show for the ball. Your body language can dictate and tell the midfielders where you're wanting it to go, and sometimes it doesn't have to be verbal communication, but right now it needs to be more connected between that front and middle line.
Kirstenberg, again, all the way out near midfield. Very aggressive position. Ibarra gives it from Almendares over. And back in possession here. Cummings, Constant. Direct ball this time. Good turn. Torbert gets a knock on it. Philpotts gets yanked down by Torbert for the foul. Well, this has been a fascinating opening 26 minutes. Not to say that JAX doesn't have anything to play for. Of course, they're playing for the #1 overall position as you see this foul once again, the rip of the arm. But if you're DC Power, you have to go for it in these final two. You need as many points as you possibly can because you can't rely on Dallas giving away points against the 2 bottom teams on the table in their final 2.
Absolutely, and it was a nice setup from Claire Constant to give Deja Torbert a chance. Just took an awkward bounce off of her head, and then you saw the hand pull. Thought she might have gotten away with that one, but with the official standing right there, able to call it as it was, the right call made there.
Philpotts. Back wide, Meg Hughes. One of the league leaders with 7 assists. Leaves it through the middle. Sophie Jones gets yanked to the surface by Colton. Another free kick. We've had several restarts here in the opening half hour. Three teams have punched their ticket into the Gainbridge Super League playoffs, but the season is far from over. To stay up to date on all the latest information, analysis, and insight, go to GainbridgeSuperLeague.com.
Oh, great pressure there from Loza Ibarra. Not allowing Sporting JAX out on that right side. Didn't give up on the play either. Continued to reposition herself for that block. And now we will see, can DC Power now establish possession back in Sporting JAX half?
Torbert steals, keeper off. Gerstenberg saves the first. Torbert a second chance, rolls it back. And in the end, Theoret tests the bleachers and Gerstenberg makes a critical save.
This has been the reason why Sporting JAX has struggled against DC Power. It's in these transition moments. And Deja Torbert just take one more touch. She tried to go for the nutmeg against the keeper. If she just took one small touch, she would have had her beat, went right around her and place it, but instead tries to go right after Jamie Gerstenberg. And then her teammate soars that one over the net, but a great look for DC Power and just shows how dangerous they can be in those transition moments.
Stacey Balaam said that this team has the utmost confidence in Gerstenberg, and she rings the bell in just her 6th match of the year. She did not play from October until last week when she was forced into action when Parks was sent off with a red card. That is a tough role as a keeper, and what a confidence-boosting moment in this one. Put a big star next to that if JAX are able to win or reserve a point later on in this game. Constant leads it away. Ibarra was the target. It's out of her reach. We haven't seen a first half goal in this fixture since the first meeting. We were scoreless at halftime in February and October, both second half game winners. And then 2 second half goals from DC before the opening goals from Pennick and Gorley back in August when these teams clash.
Both sides just really organized defensively to start, but as the legs get tired, we see those breakdowns which happen in the second half in this match between DC Power and Sporting JAX previously this season.
At the half-hour mark, scoreless so far. Sporting JAX looking to clinch a home match in the Gainbridge Super League playoffs. A win would do just that, while DC Power is looking to get back above the playoff line with only one more match to go for them the rest of this year. Michael Wattrang, Brooke Kirchhoffer, and the rest of our crew guiding you through 60 more minutes here from Washington, D.C. It's a good read, but ultimately, Ken knocks it out. Torbert runs all the way to the sideline and can't keep it in play. Philpotts gets a running start and gives it right to Colton, and she promptly returns the favor. Ibarra gets that ball out. The top 3 in the league all separated by just 5 points. And the middle 3 are separated by just 1 point. Playoff start in 17 days, and it'll be a fascinating watch in this league. But here's a steal. JAX accelerate. Puerta has it. Puerta pummels! Puerta torches the threads. Sporting JAX jump out in front of DC Power 1-0.
Ashlyn Puerta showing off the skill and proving she doesn't need a lot of space to make you pay. She's so strong off the dribble. A quality touch into Ashlyn Puerta after this steal here. Sets herself up right before the double team is put on, and Sydney Cummins puts her on skates, finds that right corner post and fires it home. What an effort from Ashlyn Puerta, who continues to just show dominance and why she is scoring in double digits.
Here goes Walker now, a chance to try to tie this one back up. That ball skims off of the foot of the first. Colton wins her team a corner. And a correction on that goal. It's actually Bailey DeSmit that gets the credit for it. Her 12th and her 9th on the road this season, extending her league record.
Bailey DeSmit and Ashlyn Puerta can always find a way to connect, and that's where, when it happens so fast, sometimes we miss who it is, but another special player in Bailey DeSmit and her ability to score in multiple ways. And as soon as she got face on against Sydney Cummins, it was pretty much over from there. She picked her spot and put Sporting JAX up 1-0.
Now here is Puerta. She nudges it in, just past her marker as Constant sends it away. Colton gets taken down. That is a hard tackle from Paige Kenton. Cummings gonna need a wardrobe fix. 10 minutes to go before halftime, and it is Jacksonville ahead by a goal so far. DC missed its chance in transition.
Needed to get that quad hamstring re-wrapped. This point in the season, I think everybody's dealing with a bit of a knock. For Sydney Cummings, it's going to take a lot for her to come off the pitch.
Ball bounces off of two. Theoret sends it back, and it goes to midfield. Well, the streak continues for Sporting JAX. They still have not been shut out on the road this year. The only two times they were shut out were at home. Dallas and DC, both 1-0 wins. This is a steal. Almendaris leaves it for Theoret. Colton. Bagley. Walker tries to nudge it over. Colton gets shut down, however. Almendaris chips it back. Constant a long way away from her center back position. The foul is whistled, and a free kick coming here for DC.
Claire Constant arguably has been the constant so far in this match, has just been so impressive, cleaning things up on the back line, keeping these attacks alive for DC Power when Sporting JAX is trying to catch them on their heels. She's arguably, at this point, been the player of the match so far for DC Power, and just her ability to clean things up.
Can DC take advantage of this free kick? Long way to go inside of the box. Gerstenberg sent right in front of Sydney Cummings. And they are going to whistle the foul on Cummings.
She's typically the one that they are looking to in the air on those set pieces, has the size, but her aerial presence speaks for itself. She's so quality anytime they have a corner kick or set piece opportunity, and her ability to redirect in the air.
Sophia Bowman picked up the assist, so she's now at 6 goals and 6 assists on the season. It's just a wealth of attacking talent for Jacksonville, but a 1-goal lead. You're on the road. This was the finish the last time they were here on October 14th, 1-0. Gerstenberg. Jones back for Gerstenberg. Less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Bagley comes up to put pressure on Hughes, but Hughes darts past her. Bowman has it once more. Choices to make. Looks to reverse.
Man, and the runs were on and behind for Sporting JAX. Of course, they elect to reset and try and recycle the opportunity, but maybe be a little bit daring there and try to put the pressure on DC Power with putting 2 away in the first half.
Puerta slows. Philpotts. DeSmit. Bagley reads it well. And the foul is whistled. When Sporting JAX scores, there's nobody better in the league than holding on to that. They've dropped the fewest points from a winning position of any team in the Super League. And here goes Kenton once more. Her cross knocked away by Cummings. Philpotts. Kenton. Puerta. In a tight area. Jones instead circulates back up top. Puerta's cross gets knocked out. Torbert picks it back up. Lofts it over the top. Walker is the target. Gerstenberg gets ahead on it. Good aggressive play there.
I thought for a moment Gerstenberg was going to bring her hands up, and I think just remembered where she was at last minute. Heads it out, but a dangerous play there for Sporting JAX. We know they like to send the house anytime they get forward, and that's where DC Power can make you pay on those transition moments. You have to clean everything up.
Torbert is injured.
And Torbert took a pretty hard knock in the 10th minute against Dallas. I was surprised to see her walk away from that one. So another player who is a little banged and bruised at this point in the season. Here we'll see this contact, and yeah, just a little bit late, clipped her ankle. That never feels good.
It's the tough combo of bang and bruise. Walker was looking for Torbert back on the field. Able to get it over there.
You see Torbert still trying to walk off that ankle. You've got to keep it moving after a hit like that. We'll see if she can get back to full speed here as they close out this first half.
DeSmit shields. Puerta. Good slide tackle from Theoret. Torbert runs right into traffic and gives it away. Philpotts returns the favor, though. Colton can't get past. It goes to Torbert. Tries to get it to Walker, cannot do so. That back line has been steady so far here for JAX.
Man, Emily Colton had green grass in front of her and didn't check her shoulder, went right into the defender there. She could have just stayed straight on and took that defender one-on-one up that right channel.
The flag staying down for now. Boyan Pulls it back for Jones. Philpotts. Through the middle of the field, Smekrud. Up top it goes. DeSmit turns right into traffic, however. Bowman resets. Pressure here from JAX. Cross in. Header. DeSmit. This time it is saved by Gottschalk.
What a violent redirection in the air from DeSmit, giving that opportunity a chance. A great ball in from the outside channel. Just enough bend on it to where Bailey DeSmit had power in the air to redirect it, but well read by DC Power's goalkeeper, McKenna Gottschalk.
A couple more minutes to go before the end of the first half. Sporting JAX with the advantage, a 33rd minute goal from Bailey DeSmit, her 12th of the season. Sporting JAX has won 7 straight when DeSmit scores. Colton tries to answer. Colton lines it up, crushes off of a defender. Walker back to pick it up. A defender for JAX down. A whistle for a foul. Another free kick coming here for DC.
Man, Emily Colton wants that ball off her left foot. Another opportunity for her to touch it to the right side of her body to give herself a better angle. And now Sporting JAX has kind of figured that out and have closed that space off where she wants the angle on her left foot, and just hasn't been on for these last few times up the field.
Alexis Theoret will get this opportunity almost dead center of the field. Theoret pokes it. The header goes high. Pretty good ball there. It looked like Sydney Cummings was the one that came up with it, but missed it a little bit high.
Helps that 5'10", soaring over Sporting JAX there on that set piece. Nice little redirection too there. Also got some power behind it. Just wasn't able to put it on frame.
Berg puts it back into play. A 1-goal advantage and 3 minutes of first half stoppage time. Can DC equalize before halftime? We get a whistle for a foul. A DC free kick here. It's a DC team that leads the league in shots. 383. That's 31 more than Lexington at number 2. They have 6 of the 10 so far here tonight, but they're tied for the lowest conversion rate in the league, just 12%. They turn those shots into goals.
Getting closer and closer though. 3 of those 6 shots inside the box. 1 total big chance for them, but not enough touches in the opposition's box through this first half, only 11. And again, it's because both sides have been really organized defensively.
4th in the league in touches in the opposition box for the season. Not afraid to shoot from anywhere, and there's a long way to go in this one between 2 elite goal-scoring teams, and Colton jumps on top of this one. Colton gets to the right foot this time, connects, and misses just wide left.
Emily Colton finally off that right foot, gets the angle she wants. She was trying to pinch it inside that inside post there, but well read by Jamie Gerstenberg, who had it covered up. I think even if she got it inside that post, Gerstenberg had it completely covered up. It wasn't able to get that one on frame, but good to see Emily Colton rip a shot and give herself a chance.
Looking for a second before halftime. That ball ends up out. Maybe one more chance here for DC Power to go at this. Trailing by a goal here against a team in which they've beaten 2 out of 3 times. Cabrera. Theoret loses it. Good read. Constant steals it. Torbert picks it. Philpotts is there. Torbert slaloms past Puerta. If they're going to get one more shot in, it's going to have to happen within the next few seconds. Bagley. Constant. Walker. Philpotts does well. Tan her body in front. And the first half whistle comes right there. Well, this was a match that DC had a few chances early, including that breakaway after the steal. But it is Bailey DeSmit that gets the lone goal of the first half. And an inside track to the top spot in the league. Sporting JAX with the advantage at halftime.
Sporting JAX has just been more clinical and had better quality play in the attacking third throughout this first half. Have given themselves better quality opportunities. We have seen Deja Torbert have moments where she's broken away from that pressure of the back line. Didn't quite able to get it across the line and put one on frame. We've seen Sydney Cummins be strong in the air. But for Sporting JAX, I expect them to have a bit of a higher press coming out of halftime once they're able to talk with the coaching staff and find a better way to put the pressure on DC Power. I think that's going to be something that's on for Sporting JAX in the second half.
So far, so good for JAX as we bring in Bailey DeSmit, her 12th goal of the season. Bailey, you've scored 9 times on the road. What is it about playing on the road that allows you to be at your best?
I think it's just mentality that, I mean, we're away from home, we're away from necessarily what we're comfortable with. So to just keep playing the way I can play home or away, I think it definitely helps.
Bailey, what did you see on that goal-scoring moment?
I know I have to get the ball quick off my feet. Defenders can step in at any time, so get it quick off my feet, quick to strike. So when I got that little bit of space, I knew you just got to get on frame.
Bailey, best of luck in the second half. Thanks.
Thank you.
In a matchup of two teams that have played some heavyweight bouts this season, Bailey DeSmit's 12th goal of the season has Sporting JAX in front, 1-0 at halftime. We'll look around the rest of the Gainbridge Super League when we return.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Sporting Club Jacksonville, what a magical run it's been in their inaugural season.
Unbelievable! Lexington did a double!
Carolina ascent on top.
Tremendous team goal for Power FC. Spokane on the scoreboard in a very important game for playoff positioning.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gainbridge, great at assists for your savings.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Halftime here in the nation's capital, and it is Sporting JAX on the road with a 1-0 edge at the break thanks to Bailey DeSmith's 33rd minute goal. Upcoming this weekend, things that we're keeping our eyes on. Massive one. Saturday night, 10:30, DC Power Spokane. Likely an elimination game, and specifically, depending on what happens here. Also, look at the top right. Dallas Trinity, Tampa Bay. We're keeping our eyes on that one as well. Playoff implications aplenty throughout the league, and of course, Jack's paying attention to what Lexington does against Brooklyn on Sunday.
Man, if you've got nothing to do this weekend, you know what you need to be watching. I mean, the race for that 4th spot has been so fun to watch coming down the stretch. I'll be on the call for the Dallas Trinity match. Can't wait.
In the latest installment of our Built for Success docuseries, we're highlighting DC Power's Alexis Theodorette, a rookie making an immediate impact while navigating an emotional season off the field. Here's a preview of how she's leaning on the game, her teammates, and her family through it all.
Alexis is a player that already made big strides to becoming one of the better players in the league.
Don't let it across. Don't let it across.
She's an all-around player, and you don't see that often.
My dad was my first coach. The beginning of this year, my father passed away very unexpectedly.
This is Miss Nala. She has been my little emotional support baby.
Sporting JAX takes the field against DC Power.
For her to go out there and still continue to go after her dream, it's very impressive.
Being a part of the Gainbridge Super League has meant a lot to me, and I'm really excited to see where the end of this year takes us.
DC Powerman enjoying the match so far, although Sporting JAX has the 1-0 lead at halftime. Michael and Brooke back with you here for our halftime highlights in this one. And DC had some early chances in this one, including this free kick that nearly went in off of the free kick.
This is why Sporting JAX is so confident putting Jamie Gerstenberg back in the net. Read it like a book, slips it right over the back of the net, not allowing any opportunities for DC Power on that set piece.
But then in the 33rd minute, it's an aggressive play here to take it away from Bagley, and then Bailey DeSmit does the rest.
It was a quick touch and finish around Sydney Cummings, especially for those in this league. You know how quickly Cummings can just close you down in those moments. She recognized it had to be quick, it had to be on frame, and finds the back of the net to put them up 1-0.
12th goal of the season for DeSmit. A 1-0 advantage. We're seeing these numbers here. More shots for DC Power, but they need to be more accurate, and they need to get in the box. Only 3 of their 7 shots have come from inside of the 18.
It's the quality of shots and shot selection where DC Power has to be a bit more stingy, and we have mentioned it a couple times that Gianna Gorley can be that stingy shooter coming off the bench in the second half. When will she re-enter? But if you're DC Power, you kind of have to just wash the first half, get back out, and try and set the pace and tempo, because really, Sporting JAX, you see the possession rate only by 52%, but it felt like such a bigger number. They felt like they were in total control at the end of the first half.
DC have gained 7 points from losing positions this year. That's tied for the second most in the league. Can they make a second half comeback, or Sporting JAX clinch a top 2 spot in the postseason? Second half kick is next. Halftime here in Washington, D.C., and D.C. Power going to try to make the comeback in this one. Down by a goal to nil, and they're going to make 3 changes. We're going to see Jada Bedoya, Katrina Guiu, and Kiki Mackay all come into the game. The 3 that come out are Bagley, Almendares, and Torbert. So 3 sets of fresh legs for DC Power. No Gianna Gorley this swing, though, however.
I'll tell you what, though. I love this addition of Jada Bedoya in for Deja Torbert, I believe. And where they are going to line up Jada Bedoya will be the question. I think she can really get open in that right channel. But what we have seen from Bedoya in the past is she has the speed to beat people off the dribble. She's super creative. It was just waiting for those final pieces to come in her game in terms of the creativity and finding the right pockets in the final third. I'm excited to see what she will look like here in the second half.
For DC, they need at least a point tonight. I think that would be the worst case scenario for DC when you look at the playoff push with Dallas 2 games to go in the season, a point ahead. Now, certainly a lot of things can happen, and if DC can beat Spokane, that would certainly help. There are a lot of different things that you could keep your eyes on in this one, but Sporting JAX, a win, clinches a top 2 spot, plus a whole match in the Gainbridge Super League playoffs. DC needs some help, and they've rounded off 3 consecutive unbeaten. Second half starts. Black and blue kits for DC. It's the white and light blue for Sporting JAX. Michael Watring, Brooke Kirchhoffer, and the rest of our crew here with you in the nation's capital for this one this evening as we enjoy this matchup today. Let's see if those DC changes can provide that scoring punch to bring them back in this game.
Well, right off the bat, we see that Bedoya is going to be coming up that left channel, and her goal was against Sporting JAX this season. And so we know that she can find a way through their back line and punish. What will she look like now?
Bedoya scored the 75th minute goal, the 3rd and final in a 3-1 comeback win for DC Power. After Pennick scored in the 7th minute, Gorley bagged a brace a half hour apart. Bedoya added the final piece of that puzzle. And if you're DC, you're thinking second half might be their time, because 20 of the 29 goals the JAX have allowed this season have come after the break, including 3 in the first 10 minutes of half 2. Abera sends it back, Cummings. Omidamazi stopped short of saying that things would be frenetic and crazy in these final 2 matches, but you kind of did sense a little bit that he understood what was at stake in these final 2, and a maximum 6 points still wouldn't be enough to get them into the postseason, depending on how Dallas does it, but that's about all you can do right now. Is if you can get 6, you at least put the pressure on Dallas and their road trips to Tampa Bay and a home match against Fort Lauderdale in their final 2.
And we were outright with Omid Namazi asking how risky they would be in this match. And he said, well, look, we're fine regardless of the outcome. Of course, they want to continue to add points as they have the final push for that 4th playoff spot that a lot of teams are still vying for. But maybe they're a little bit risky here in the second half, and look for that back line, especially anchored by Sydney Cummings, to go to a 3 back when they're in on the attack.
This is good here. Abera, hefty on that initial touch, sends it back to Theoretz. Slings it out wide. Guiu likes to go through the middle of the field. A quick turn here from Gaynor, right back for Guiu. Lines it up, it ricochets off of the first. Abera chases. And Gerstenberg got a fantastic read on it to get to the ball first.
I'm interested to see this combo play in this left side with Bedoya and Abera both being in the same area of the pitch. I think those two can really create and find those triangle passing patterns in and around Jacksonville's right back line.
Bowman, who has the assist tonight on DeSmith's goal in the 33rd minute, puts the ball back into play. Smikrud, Hughes, and a foul. Only and Lexington have gained more points from losing spots this year. They have 8, while DC has 7. JAX, though, have only dropped 7 points from winning positions. That's the fewest in the league. Arcing ball to the top of the 18. Constant angles it out of play for a JAX throw. Struggles continue for DC Power. They've scored the 2nd fewest home goals of any team in the league this year. Here's Puerta. Puerta splits the first, but not the second, and a corner again for JAX.
And remember, DC Power went through a rough patch where they were struggling just to win at home, and then they were able to get over the hump a couple of months ago. But now down 1-0 against Sporting JAX, a team they know how to have success against. It's proven. How will they respond, especially with so much on the line?
Set piece into the near post. Puerta nudges it. Kenton was getting ready to take a swing, but ultimately it's Ibarra that gets it back out to midfield. You heard Bailey DeSmit at halftime talk about the mentality and the mindset that you have to have when you go on the road. Sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but they're aiming for their 10th win of the year away from home. Nobody has more points, goals, or wins on the road in the Super League this year. Colton. Theorettes. Here is Bedoya, her first touches of the day. Ibarra. Goes down for a corner.
And reminder, their most recent goal scored against Dallas Trinity came off of a corner kick. Bit of a bobble around the box, but ultimately finished.
Emily Colton sends it down. Team leading 4 assists for the year. Colton connects. Back post, the header goes right to Gerstenberg. Once again, it was Cummings that was the target, and Gerstenberg positioned herself perfectly.
Man, so unlucky for Sydney Cummings. A great strike and redirect on the corner kick. Couldn't have asked for a better opportunity and angle, but as we saw there, Gerstenberg was just exactly where she needed to be.
Gerstenberg made a massive save in the opening half hour when Torbert had a breakaway.
Looked like Torbert, too, was trying to go for the nutmeg. I don't know if she was trying to have a cheeky finish there, but I think it was, if Torbert was playing at full strength, potentially takes another touch around it and places it instead of just going for that first strike opportunity. But again, we know she's dealing with a bit of a knock and now is off to the side as Jada Bedoya replaces her.
Colton always in and around the area. Ibarra lays this perfectly. Guillou has to circle, though. Couldn't quite catch up. Leaves it back for Walker. After a juggle, Philpotts funnels away.
What a read from Guillou to place it back to Alyssa Walker, who was in prime position, just wasn't ready for the ball. As we watch it back here, Alyssa Walker on her heels when Guillou plays this ball, the split here, and instead chasing after it instead of getting her body in front of it for an opportunity.
Walker has been on a heater, 5 goals in the last 10. After she scored just once in the previous 11. But this ball bounces to Ibarra. Ibarra brings it down. 2 defenders slam the door shut on that chance. And a throw in here for DC. The aggression has been there. Now can they get the final action and score?
Have to give credit to Sporting JAX. They have just had phenomenal shot stopping ability and making sure that they are putting the pressure on. Anytime DC Power gets face on, Sporting JAX has 1 to 2 players in their face.
Well, it is a match that has all the feeling of a postseason matchup. With what is on the line, if you're Sporting JAX, you spent so much time at the top of the table. To not get a home game in the playoffs would be a disappointment. A win tonight would clinch that. For DC on the other side, a season of ebbs and flows, ups and downs. But they position themselves with 2 matches to go with an opportunity to get into the playoffs. Boyan commits the foul. Free kick once again for DC. The split has been even for DC this year. As many goals in the first half as in the second half of their 34 for the year. Walker does well enough to get that ball to the side. Gainer. Guiu. Constant gives it back to Gottschalk. Constant crushes this ball. Bedoya nearly had the perfect touch for Walker. Instead, back to Gerstenberg. Once again, she's playing because Parks is on a red card. It's the first start for Gerstenberg since September 28th. Had just 4 starts at the beginning. A foul whistled as Hughes was bringing the movement forward. DC looking to extend a 3-match unbeaten run. They had 1 back-to-back matches before their draw in the last match.
I think you could argue, too, that they were the better team against Dallas Trinity, the way that they controlled the match and clean play, line to line, just really seemed to be in control of possession against Dallas Trinity, and that's kind of been missing. Sporting JAX has done a good job of adjusting to how they want to build and breaking up that play. As soon as they get to the midfield line, DC Power is struggling to find an outlet.
JAX, no issues finding outlets here. Along the far left side, DeSmit makes the underlapping run. And instead, this is a foul and not a card this time around. We have yet to see a yellow. DC is actually the least penalized team in the league. Fewest yellow cards, and the only team without a red card this year. Hughes dangled that one out there. Bedoya nearly bounced on top of it. Philpotts over the top. Walker. It's a little bit of a tug of the jersey there. Still holds on to it.
And another tug as soon as she gets it to that outside channel, but referee will let them play on with possession.
Theoretz sends it wide. Colton crosses. Not the most decisive header there from Hughes. Walker is called for the foul.
Yeah, and you saw Jada Bedoya, the timing on the run was just not where it needed to be. Off that left side. Great ball across. Just didn't line up with the timing of the runs into the box.
The Gainbridge Super League playoffs are just a few weeks away, and we are tracking all the possible scenarios. You can visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com/newsletter to get updates on your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox. Guiu chips. No outlets here. Guiu. Theoretz. Works it right through the middle. Mackay. Bedoya Bedoya drifts to the touchline, crosses, and it rolls out for a corner. Colton ready for the corner. Colton guides it across. Header bounces off of a body. Georgia Brown lifts it away.
Sporting JAX is so good at breaking down that second action, that second play back into the box. Sydney Cummings has done a quality job of giving DC Power an opportunity, but Sporting JAX has not allowed that second touch in the box to come.
Walker arcs it across, and once again, Gerstenberg, she's been sure-handed all night.
Really putting herself just in good positions, not having to do too much. Right place, right time, and just really aware of where the forwards are at on the front line for DC Power, putting herself in positions to have success and not have to go outside of herself and do too much in her own box.
A foot race here that Kenton wins. Page. A second defender will come over. Doesn't stop Kenton from getting the ball into the box. Back out Bowman. And a foul whistle. At the 1 hour mark, JAX makes its first change. Maggie Illig coming in. Replaces Abby Boyan.
She has had a really quality match so far. Plays at full speed. Will now get fresh legs as they try to make a final push. Potentially Jacksonville hosting one of these playoff matches before the final.
Could be a playoff preview. 1 versus 4 if DC are able to make it, and Sporting JAX are able to hold off Lexington for the top spot. There are fireworks in the area. It is America's 250th birthday this year, so I guess in the nation's capital, every day is a cause for celebration.
Too early to celebrate yet if you're Sporting JAX. Try and put another one away against this DC Power side.
Puerta pushes the ball in, and on one hop, it's a clean save, this time from Gottschalk. Well, this is where we sit with about a half hour to go. Bailey DeSmith's 9th road goal of the year. In the 33rd minute is the difference in the game. Sporting JAX this year, 7 wins and a draw when she scores, winning each of the last 7 times. If this score holds, Sporting JAX will host a playoff match and clinch a top 2 spot on the table. And be 1 match away from clinching the Shield. Meanwhile, for DC Power, they're going to need some help regardless, but without question, if this score holds, they'll need a ton of help, and they'll need to take care of business against Spokane on Saturday to make the playoffs. And Saturday night's kick is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 7:30 local against the Zephyr.
You mentioned Bailey DeSmith's goal. Take a look at just the quality of shots compared to DC Power. 4 shots total for Sporting JAX, 2 on target, 11 shots for DC Power, only 2 on target, and that was the difference. That setup touch by Bailey DeSmith for a quick strike, able to put it right around Sydney Cummings as well as the goalkeeper. That's been really the biggest difference is DC Power. That setup touch has not been the quality touch they need.
This is Kenton's shot that angles off of the boot of Cummings. Gottschalk has to dive to push it away.
Gottschalk covering that front post here. Just quality side with so many different goal scorers for Sporting JAX. Tries to sneak one by Gottschalk, but she has that front post covered.
Corner kick for Sporting JAX. Sophia Bowman blasts it in. Header from Kenton is saved by Gottschalk and cleared away. Preserves the 1-goal deficit and prevents JAX from adding to the advantage.
Yeah, DC Power just looking for a spark right now, and maybe it can just be facilitated from the goalkeeper in net. What an effort from McKenna Gottschalk to adjust to kind of an awkward positioning for her, slaps it away, and her team does the rest. What an effort.
JAX are looking to get a second goal to put this one away. They've lost 2 of the first 3 meetings, but the road team has exclusively won in this series. JAX trying to keep that trend rolling along. Here's the goal scorer, DeSmit. Leaves it for Puerta. Puerta lines it up. Puerta pounds too much on that one as it slides wide. Gianna Gorley is back. One of the league's great goal scorers returns for the first time since March 26th. And after missing the last 5, Gianna Gorley back on the field, now trying for the storybook ending on the return to bring DC Power back in this one against JAX.
Welcome back to a true 9-2, and just her ability has that engine that you want in that position, makes great runs in behind and around the box consistently. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, just a great read of the game. And when you need a spark plug, who better to look to than Gianna Gorley, who is at full strength according to Omen Namazi, that she is fully healthy.
Replaces Alyssa Walker. And here is her first touch since she returns. Choices in the box, 2 defenders there. Glides to the left foot, wraps it across. Bedoya arrives. Bedoya blasts! Getting her body in front was Georgia Brown. Bedoya lines up a second. Off of the ricochet, it skims to midfield. Good read by Cummings. 25 minutes to go, and Cummings hits that ball well too hard and out. That was a really good play there by Georgia Brown, who Stacey Balaam told us is one of those players that has really taken a step forward. She's a general and the focal point of us building outs.
I like the ball across the box, too, from Gianna Gorley to Jada Bedoya on the outside. Keeping it on the ground gave her just enough of an opportunity to decide where she wanted to go forward, whether driving that front post or trying to take a shot from distance. And that's where Gianna Gorley is such an effective player in that 9 role. Creates for her teammates, creates for herself, just a special player.
Cummings knocks that ball. It's Colton picking it up. Theoretz. Bedoya dribbles up top. Bedoya belts. It ripples the left side of the netting. Just misses wide. Bedoya trying to find that space to equalize.
Love the strike on the ball here and just the patience. Pushing it to give herself a better angle off that right foot. Gets the strike on it that she wants. I think it might have clipped the defender's foot, but not enough for the referee to see it to get that corner kick. But she's knocking on the door, and you like to see that strike from Bedoya off the bench.
Each side with 4 shots in the second half. JAX still with the advantage. DC's playoff hopes shrinking. JAX looking to clinch a home playoff match. And on the overlap, this ball gets crossed in by Phil Potts. Back to where it came from, and a chance to restart. Barra picks it up. Bedoya tries to get the angle. Bodies tangle up. Smekrud wins that battle. Furstenberg has had a fine night. Couple big saves in this one. Advantage played here. Constant defense. Hughes angles wide. And too much on that as it drifts out.
How about Smeckrud up that right side as Jada Bedoya is looking to create and try to switch field, try to get Gianna Gorley involved and just putting on a clinic. No foul, just a quality duel between those two players. Smeckrud able to stop that effort from DC Power.
Guillou sends it back, got shot. Roughly 20 more minutes to go in the penultimate match of the season for these two sides. And JAX looking for a little separator. Hughes against Guillou. Jones. Illig. JAX managing the game, keeping the ball out of DC's possession. And a direct ball here. Smeckrud chases and gets there first. Smeckrud with two defenders nearby goes down, gets back up, returns the feed for Bowman, who stole it. Bowman blasts near post, Gottschalk bobbles, and she has to send the ball away, conceding a corner with Paige Kenton diving in.
What a sequence here. A beautiful ball to Smeckrud to give her an opportunity. Jada Bedoya wins it, but then Bowman keeps it alive. Good strike on the ball. So close for Paige Kenton to try to finish this one off, and now look at an opportunity from the corner kick. Just swarming effort from Sporting JAX anytime they're in the attacking third.
It's going to be two changes here for Sporting JAX as well. Jones is coming out, as is the goal scorer Bailey DeSmit, whose goal in the 33rd minute is the difference in a 1-0 match. Entering the game, Parker Roberts and Jay Pennick, who has scored in 2 of the 3 meetings between these teams, including the lone goal in a 1-0 win on this field in October. Is over there in case they go short with this one. They do go direct into the box. It hits the first head, Thea Ratz. So a second chance at this corner. Bowman spots it. Goes short, Puerta. Cuts back against Colton. Puerta tries to split the defenders. Colton recovers and cannot get it to a teammate, but is fortunate that it bounces off of Bowman for a throw-in. At Bellevue University, your success is the only thing that matters. That's why they offer education that's designed to help you achieve your next goal. Find out more at degrees.bellevue.edu/goals.
Man, DC Power just has not seemed to be in control, possession or going direct against Sporting JAX, who just continues to spend a whole lot of time in DC Power's half.
Gorley brings it down. Only Ibarra is down there.
Have to figure out a way to just be more organized and work together. They continue to try to feed whoever's on that front line, but not putting themselves in good positions and not enough runs in and around them for that hold-up play that they're looking to build off on, and DC Power just has to figure out a way to get more numbers forward.
Kenton can't quite reach the target. Does come back though and rescue. Over the top, it's Pennick. Constant rolls back for Gottschalk. Cummings. Shots are 13-8 in favor of DC Power, the #1 team in the league in shots. They've only had 2 of their 13 hit the target versus 5 for JAX.
A lot of shots from range too from DC Power, which is what we saw in Sporting JAX last match at home against Brooklyn, as they were able to keep them out of their own box and try to force shots from range. And that was even down a man and able to still walk away with the victory.
There'll be another push here for DC. A little bit of a push at the start of this second half. DC has scored 8 times in the final quarter hour of matches this year. They hope for a 9th, maybe even a 10th to pull out the complete shocker, but 1 is certainly the focal point now. Gorley and Abera bump into each other.
And I think that's just a sign of 2 players who haven't been on the pitch a whole lot as of late, with Gianna Gorley being injured, and just trying to redefine that communication and connection between those 2 forwards.
Ball there from Gorley to Colton. Ending up in this, the cross comes in, it's over everybody, it's going to bounce out. DC are to make another change. Loza Abera's shift is done. And it will be Hannah Harney coming in. Harney has not scored this year.
3 goals last season with Lexington, and you see how many substitutions we are seeing, trying to keep legs fresh. Tough with these midweek matches. We know that DC Power gets a little bit more time in between, facing Dallas on Friday, Sporting JAX getting the weekend slate against Brooklyn. Both these teams do want to manage legs, as they both hope. Sporting JAX has already punched their ticket to the playoffs. DC Power is hoping to do the same, and they want to make sure that they've got as many fresh legs as they can, but got to get there first.
There are 3 teams vying for that final playoff spot. Dallas and Spokane certainly rooting for JAX in this one, even though one of these 3 will end up facing either JAX, Lexington, or Carolina, depending on how the playoffs end up playing out. Kenton can't slow it down. Theorets. Mackay hits it long. Unable to link up. Bodies come together. And it's taken right back. That's good work there by Theoret. Bedoya plays it behind Guiu, however.
Just need to clean up those touches in possession. I think DC Power needs to pick up the pace a little bit too in possession. They're allowing Sporting JAX to really clamp down defensively because they're waiting to make the perfect pass instead of anticipating and knowing where they're going with it.
Once again, they build in the attack. Theorets twirls and gives it away.
Just one too many touches in the midfield, which really been their kryptonite tonight for DC Power. Have to find a way to, where's that strength going to be on the midfield line? Who can step up and be the one who creates?
Jesse Hunt replaces Ashlyn Puerta for JAX. Theoret. Brown's ball ends up with Constant. Gorley touches it off of JAX, and it's a throw, much to the disdain of the JAX players. It's a good run here. Colton, though, unable to come up with it. Smeckrud played it. Gerstenberg was coming out, and it gets cleared away for a throw.
And what a beautiful through ball. One we haven't quite seen yet from DC Power through that seam, and just didn't get the trailing run onto the end of it.
Thierret slams the brakes on. Mackay. Better ball there. This time it is Harney off of a defender. Another throw. This is better pressure here from DC, now trying to translate it into, at the very least, a shot.
Passing patterns have been so much better from DC Power 2 on this last trip forward. Can they stay in Sporting JAX half here and continue to put the pressure on?
On the bobble, it's given away. Bedoya plays it back. It's Thierret. Gerstenberg was well off of her line. Has an outlet there, but DC unable to get the ball in the middle of the field quickly enough. Constance. Pass rolls past the intended target. Given right back, however. Colton with 3 defenders nearby. 10 more minutes to go. Critical matchup for DC Power's playoff hopes.
I think that's been the frustrating thing for DC Power. How many giveaways we have seen, just trying to force it forward instead of finding a better option.
You can't keep it in play. And once again, another chance fizzles out against the Sporting JAX side that has 10 clean sheets, tied with Lexington for the most. They've conceded 4 times after the 80th minute this year, once in stoppage time. DC on the other side, they have scored 3 times in the final 10 minutes, once in the 95th.
I think Gianna Gorley is getting stuck in that right channel too. I'd like to see her go but maybe a bit more centrally and try to link up instead of being the creator on that right channel.
Gorley got off to a torrid start to the year. 8 goals in the first 13, then 7 straight without a goal. And despite missing these last 5, the last time she scored was in December.
She's just such a special player, I think, who can turn it on at any moment. Of course, getting her feet wet back on the pitch right now. Doesn't help with all the giveaways and, you know, quality chances forward, but it's just a missed pass. Whether it's the 4th or 5th pass in a sequence, just hasn't been quality from DC Power. And that's a credit to Sporting JAX, just continuing to put the pressure on. It has to feel like DC Power is in a pressure cooker right now with how well Sporting JAX has positioned themselves defensively.
Harney tries to change that. Game's a little bit open, but Bedoya is the target. And the pass was inaccurate. They settle for a throw. Harney sends Bedoya along, and that ball is ultimately going to trickle out for a goal kick. Two matches to go for Dallas and Spokane. Dallas playing the bottom 2 teams on the table that have a combined -41 goal differential. You feel like they have the inside track, not just because they have a 1-point advantage on both DC and Spokane entering these final couple games, but also because of how the schedule breaks out for them. The math is difficult for DC. If they cannot at least get a point out of this match, they would have to beat Spokane and then get a boatload of help from that point. I feel like they have a chance going into the final weekend where they will be sitting and watching. Direct ball here, headed to the sky by Gorley. Easy play for Gerstenberg.
Sporting JAX doing a great job too in possession of killing as much clock as possible. Oh. Man, you hate to see that. We've seen that happen a couple times this season, where going for a clearance and just not recognizing player in front of you, obviously not intentional.
I think it was Jada Bedoya. That was the one that got hit with that ball from Gerstenberg.
Yeah, and you saw Jada Bedoya was in no way trying to block it. She was turning her back to go run backwards. And Gerstenberg just took her eyes off of what was in front of her for just a second. And it was a perfect storm.
Well, how did we get to this point with about 5 minutes to go in this one? Sporting JAX, the league leading goal scorers. They have so many different options that can score. And it was Bailey DeSmit, tied for second in the league now with her 12th goal, finishing this one off.
Arguably the best setup touch, inside to outside of the foot, and then an absolute powerful strike there away from the goalkeeper in McKenna Gottschalk, who was really couldn't do much about that one. And anytime you can catch Sydney Cummings off her game, that's just so hard to do. But again, it was that quality setup touch that we saw from DeSmit, and just a strong finish.
So here's how the table looks right now. These are all the teams that have the potential or have clinched a playoff position. We know JAX, Lexington, and Carolina are in. That can still change. This is as it looks right now. Lexington 2 wins in their final 2. JAX a loss against Carolina, and perhaps we would have a different Shield winner, but otherwise, JAX, they would just need a point out of their final match against Carolina to clinch not just the Shield, but have the playoffs run through their spot. DC on the other side, they need at the very least a point, and then perhaps a miraculous effort the rest of the way.
They need a spark plug right now, and it could be Ellie Gilbert, who was the one off the bench. She's coming off her first professional goal against Dallas. Can she get her second when they need it desperately? Want to continue to add points and pull away for that race for the 4th spot.
Well, Jada Bedoya is up. Need to see that, and she's being helped off the field, so DC is going to make a concussion substitute. Ellie Gilbert is going to come in and replace Bedoya.
Man, your heart breaks for Jada Bedoya. Seeing the angle of where that ball hit, she's definitely the smart choice here, and getting a look and treatment that she'll get off to the sideline here, and we hope to see her back soon.
Gilbert, the 5th different power player to record a goal as a sub this year. And maybe she can add to that ledger by coming onto the field now. A few more minutes to go. We'll certainly keep our eyes peeled on what stoppage time might look like.
Obin Namazi was really excited about her, saying that she's got a really high IQ, natural athleticism, SEC champion, but standing at 5'10", certainly helps on those set pieces in terms of aerial presence.
DC haven't lost in a month. Perhaps on the verge with a couple more minutes to go in this one. Michael Watring, Brooke Kirchhoffer, and the rest of our team taking you to the finish line here tonight. Games on this weekend and next weekend to wrap up the regular season. Gerstenberg hits it down the field. Theoret punches it over for Guillou. DC just need at least one more big burst in the attack. And they really haven't been able to involve Gianna Gorley at all.
And look how high Sydney Cummings is now on that front line, willing to take a risk. I always love to see Sydney Cummings get in on the attack. I think if it were up to her, if she could play both positions, she would. She's such a strong center back, but she does have some of that attacking qualities that we've seen out of her when she can get forward.
We're into the 90th minute. Should have a nice chunk of stoppage time to work with. Can DC rescue a point out of this? The foul is given. And still without a card in this game for either side, but it does allow DC to bring numbers forward. Constant levels it here for Gilbert. Constant again. Does send this one into the box. Gorley swings at it. Smeckrud hits it out. Corner kick DC. It's their 5th of the match. And let's see if they can get numbers in the box and get a connection. We're hearing 6 minutes of stoppage time to go. Confirmed, 6 minutes. Colton, slingshots into the 18. There were numbers there. Sent away as far as Cummings. Up top it goes. Harney lines it up, chips it back in. And out of the reach of the target, Justina Gaynor.
Unlucky for DC Power. They had the numbers running in to clean up that Sydney Cummings shot right back through to keep that alive. DC Power so close. I think they can get it done in 6 minutes, to be honest with you, with the way that they've changed their shape and put more pressure forward, but you have to be mistake-free now with going to a 3-back.
JAX looking for that knockout punch. Ball ricochets off of a couple, and it's a really good tightrope act by Gaynor. That ball gets sent all the way down the field in a foot race here for Cummings. She wins the header. Over to pick it up is Maggie Illig. Colton back along the sideline. Gorley can't keep it in. Foul against DC, 90 seconds into stoppage time will allow JAX to burn the clock. Gorley is fouled. Mackay came on at halftime. Takes it across midfield. They go direct with this ball. And it bounces down. Gerstenberg picks it up and gets rid of it as well.
Gerstenberg has just been so solid for Sporting JAX, who just quality effort top to bottom with this side, especially with so many players checking into this match, keeping legs fresh as they try to finish out strong. And some of the things that we heard from Stacey Balaam that they wanted to work on was being good at keeping the ball for longer periods of time. I mean, you can check that box. They have absolutely done a great job in staying organized against DC Power.
Theoret, a tight window, direct ball again. Colton nudges it forward. Well, the home woes continuing here for DC Power. Just 14 goals on this field through their first 13 matches.
I think when you've played a side so many times too and have gotten frustrated with not being able to put it away against DC Power, Sporting JAX has just started to figure out how they like to attack and have figured out a way to stop that DC Power attack in those transition moments.
And the foul is whistled against Mackay this time. Down to the final couple minutes. Flying to corners now for JAX in no rush. Last touched by Hannah Harney. It's a corner. And again, frustration from Harney. Parks has all 10 clean sheets for JAX this year. Missed this game with a red card. Gerstenberg looking to produce her first in her first start since September 28th.
Has to imagine she's a proud teammate watching the performance she has seen from Jamie Gerstenberg, who, if this holds, we're looking forward to talking to, and how she's really had to step up to the plate and not afraid of the moment.
DC needs the ball, and they cannot find it right now. Bodies get tangled up, and the foul is whistled against DC Power. And more disagreement, but likely the end of this one here as we hit the minimum 6 minutes of stoppage time. Well, that's it. No more action here tonight. Sporting JAX wins in the nation's capital for the second time this year. And Sporting JAX clinches a top 2 league finish and a home playoff game. 1-0 victors against DC Power.
What an effort from Stacey Balaam's side to go on the road, a team that they know that they have struggled with. She was honest with us about it and said, look, it certainly hasn't gotten our way in terms of matching up against DC Power. They understood the task at hand and really stayed organized defensively, took advantage of their moments getting forward, but also being patient and clinical in when they went forward. And those final touches in the opponent's box was just really what was the game changer for Sporting JAX. Less shots on goal, but more shots on target. Such an impressive performance from Sporting JAX.
Sporting JAX closes out DC Power. The final score, 1-0. We'll chat with Jamie Gerstenberg and have a full recap, including highlights, when we come back to Washington, D.C. in just a moment. Sporting JAX clinches a home playoff match with its league-leading 11th shutout of the year, 1-0 here in Washington, D.C. Michael Wattring, Brooke Kirchhofer back with you, and we're joined by Jamie Gerstenberg. Jamie, it was your first start since late September. How were you able to prepare for this matchup and produce a clean sheet?
I mean, honestly, we just have a great team. Even though I wasn't playing, like, we just have, you know, I was always part of a team and I always felt like it. So, as I said in my last interview, it was like my roles just changed. Like, now I'm on the field, then just, like, off the field. So it's just, like, this group is so fun, like, playing with them. So, like, I was just so excited to finally be back out on the field.
Jamie, let's go. Adding to that long list of clean sheets, take us inside that goalkeeper room with you, Kate, and Christina, because it seems like this is a side that has 3 quality goalkeepers. How does that maybe elevate you and keep you ready for moments like this?
I mean, we're just a great trio. Like, on and off the field, we just have so much fun together. We, like, support each other. Like, even Kate, now that she, like, couldn't play, she was like, let's go, like, you're gonna kill it. So there's, like, no jealousy, just full-on support, and we're just, like, such a good hype group out there.
And how much does it help to kind of keep the pressure off the goalkeeper's back when you have 3 goal scorers in double digits on that front line?
I mean, for sure, it's like way less pressure on me, but also still, like, we want to keep a shutout. We still want to, like, defend good, but it definitely helps because I know they will score eventually.
You clinch a home playoff match. You have one more match to go to try to win the Shield and get the #1 seed. What's it mean for this group to get home field but know that there's still work left?
I mean, it just means everything. Again, this is our first year. This is like, we didn't talk about like what we wanted the season to like end like. We just like, hey, 1 game at a time. Let's see where we end up. So like, we're in this great spot right now, and it's just like insane to see. So like, we're just all super excited.
Jamie, congrats on the performance and the win.
Love it. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
First clean sheet of the year for the German native. Let's look at the highlights of our matchup in this one. And how about this? 33rd minute. It looks like Anna Bagley is going to get out of traffic. She cannot, and instead it's Bailey DeSmit torching the threads.
How about how the tables have turned? We know that it's been DC Power who has been effective in transition moments against Sporting JAX, but Sporting JAX absolutely pushes the pressure on, winning the ball back in the midfield. And you see Sydney Cummings, can't believe it, but DeSmit just such a strong touch around her and sets herself up for a solid opportunity in goal.
It looked like it was going to be a second here. Kenton heads it down, and Gottschalk makes the save.
Gottschalk, what a game that she had. Of course, giving up that one opportunity, but really there was not much she could do about it with the way DeSmit placed that ball in the back of the net. Gottschalk doing a really solid job for DC Power side, who just couldn't find the back of the net.
So here's where we stand right now. 2 matches to go for Dallas and Spokane. DC on the other side, they go to Spokane. That is a massive matchup. They need at least a point, a ton of help, or a win would go a long way for them.
Ooh, it's a tight race. I mean, my eyes are going to be switching from channel to channel, also while I'm trying to call my own match this weekend. But what a fun race to the finish for that 4th spot. And also, how about Carolina Ascent coming out of nowhere, too, and securing that 3rd spot, coming off the break, and just such a strong performance. But, man, Sporting JAX is going to be one to watch now at home in the playoffs.
10 days until their next match against Carolina. But they clinch a top 2 spot and home field for at least 1 playoff match. 11 clean sheets. They win in DC 1-0 for the 2nd time this year. A victorious night for Sporting JAX against DC Power. For my partner Brooke Kirchhofer and the rest of our crew here in the nation's capital, I'm Michael Wattring signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.